Tôi đã đi trại cải tạo, đã bị biệt giam như thế nào. Và tôi cũng không bị ai cấm tôi nói. Tôi tự do, nhưng mà tôi không muốn chỉ bám vào quá khứ. Tôi không muốn ta thán, nhưng nhìn tương lai một cách tích cực.
In 75, Thuan was appointed by Pope Paul VI as Archbishop Coadjutor of Saigon. And at that time, Saigon was in a great turmoil. Obviously, there was the communists exalting themselves, in victory. And in the midst of that, millions of people are trying to get out of Vietnam through the last commercial flights and through fishermen boats. And the clergy was really in disarray, not knowing what will happen to them.
He knew that the communist government would never accept him to be in Saigon. But he headed for Saigon at the time when the highways are still unsecure. And when he arrived in Saigon, there was nobody to receive him, to welcome him. He knew that there was trouble.
Ngày 15 tháng 8 1975, nhằm lễ Đức Bà hồn xác lên trời, là một ngày không thể quên được trong cuộc đời của tôi. Và tôi đã bị bắt ở trong dinh độc lập, chở trên xe, đi trong đêm tối về Nha Trang lúc 12 giờ đêm. Một quãng đường tối tăm thật, nhưng mà tôi vui vẻ bởi vì tôi thấy tôi bắt đầu một bước đường gian lao trong một ngày lễ của Đức Mẹ.
Francis Xavier Nguyen Van Thuan was born in 1928 in Phu Cam, a largely Catholic suburb of Hue in central Vietnam. He was born into a prominent Catholic family with deep ties to the Vietnamese martyrs.
Như là lịch sử của giáo hội tại Việt Nam đã nói rõ là giáo hội Việt Nam được sinh ra bằng máu đào của các thánh tử vị đạo Việt Nam. Thì từ đầu giáo hội Việt Nam đã bị cấm cách, và cái cảnh này đã kéo dài ba thế kỷ, ba thế kỷ tất cả. Và chúng tôi có tới hơn 300.000 người vị tử đạo trong suốt 3 thế kỷ này.
Van Thuan has always thought that his vocation, his life has been a grace of God, directly linked, intimately linked to the blood of the martyrs. We come from a family where on my mother's side, my grandfather Nguyen Kha's family, the entire village, including his family, was burned alive in the church during worship. And my grandfather was overseas at the time and escaped that.
Having survived the martyrdom of his family, Nguyen Kha became the heir of a spiritual legacy, but he would also be driven by a political dream of a free and independent Vietnam. He served as the Grand Chamberlain of the court under Emperor Tan Thai and took a principled stand against French colonial rule in Vietnam. Of all his children, it was his daughter Elizabeth who best understood his ideals. Elizabeth was a woman of strong faith, which she passed on to each of her 10 children, but in a special way to her eldest son, Thuan.
My mother has always told us, each one of us, it doesn't matter what you do. Every moment just offer to God, because every moment belongs to God. Thuan took that extremely seriously. And it was that kept him, sane and kept him in union with God in prison. And he took his entire focus on the present moment and lived that to the limits of his ability to love God.
Đưa đến nhà thờ Cây Vông, tôi bị quản thúc ở đó. Tôi rất băn khoăn. Và một đêm kia, như có một tiếng bảo tôi, tại sao mà con băn khoăn? Sao con dại dột như vậy? Con cứ làm như Thánh Phaolô. Ông Thánh Phaolô ở tù thì ông chỉ viết thơ cho bổn đạo.
When he was captured, in a moment, he lost everything. He had no future, no hope. And he said, I want to use the present moment. I can live it. I can fulfill it with love as Jesus did. And there he understood, I can do something. Like St. Paul, he wrote to his communities. So he succeeded to have some paper. Every night he wrote some lines to his communities. And through a small boy, he could bring it out from the prison. These thoughts were collected, and this is the book, The Road of Hope.
He was afraid that he would die. And there was no word left from him to his faithful. And that is why he started writing.
This is the very first copy that our family was able to have it printed from all the reflection he wrote in prison, The Road of Hope. He would write his reflection on the back of own calendar leaves brought in to him by the little boy Quang each day. And he would collect it and put it in the hands of his sisters and brothers to recopy it and then to circulate it among the Vietnamese as a message from the bishop who is in house arrest.
Tôi cứ viết sau lưng cái tờ lịch và cứ tờ này